Warning, this review will have minor spoilers for Book 1 of the Wingfeather Saga. And in order to protect the people from those spoilers who don't want to hear about them, I'll start this one by inviting any new viewers to subscribe to the Rev Reads YouTube channel if you're interested in more reviews on Christian books from the perspective of a pastor. And also, if you want to support Rev Reads for all of our veteran viewers, I encourage you to go to patreon.com/Rev Reads. And now with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. The first book in the Wingfeather Saga, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness, started fine for a first step in a series. But at times, for me, it felt a little slow and all of the surprises weren't all that surprising, to be honest. It was enjoyable, but I felt like it could have been better. In Book 2, North or Be Eaten, Andrew Peterson steps up his game in a major way from the first book. From the very beginning of book number 2, the Igby family is on the move, running for their lives, and Peterson does a wonderful job ratcheting up the tension throughout the book until the very end. Just when you think that things can't get any worse for our small, struggling family, Peterson finds a way to put them in a darker or more desperate situation, to the point where I wonder throughout if maybe it's getting a little too intense for some of the younger readers who enjoyed book 1, but my children ensure me that it was not too intense, but I, maybe as an overcautious dad, thought it might have been in a few places. The key to this book was splitting up the members of the family. Because when you have Grandpa Poto, Pete the Sock Man, and Oversized Nugget all together, the Igby family forms a formidable little bunch for a family with 3 younger children. But all of a sudden, when Janner and Tink are off on their own, needing to sneak past the enemies without mother or grandfather nearby, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. And then when Janner finds himself alone, isolated from the family with no hope of any family member coming to his rescue, the story hits a little bit harder. So I really congratulate Andrew Peterson on raising the stakes for the second book, while at the same time continuing to highlight important moral themes such as the importance of family, forgiveness, courage, and sacrifice. The kind of lessons that as parents we really want to pass on to our children, but sadly they're not receiving many of those lessons from modern day fiction, and at times it seems like modern fiction authors are bent on giving them the opposite traits from what we see in the Wingfeather Saga. And while the tension felt a little bit higher, the threats were genuine, there was never a moment when I was reading this book where I thought, oh man, I wish he hadn't put that in there because I'm not going to want my children reading that. For me, this was all material that I would love my kids to engage with. And another great part about book 2 is that while I felt like the surprises and the twists in book 1 were relatively predictable, I think it was pretty easy to guess that the jewels in book 1 were the Igby children themselves. The twists in book 2, for the most part, I didn't see coming. I don't want to give too much away, but my biggest congratulations for Peterson's boldness to leave Tink in the state that he was at the end of book 2. When it looked like Tink may end up at the result where he was at in book 2, when his journey looked like it was going in a certain direction, I kept thinking, oh, no, Andrew Peterson won't go there. He's not going to do that. That's a little bit too far. And then he did it. And it really makes me intrigued for book 3 to see where the Igby children will go from here, because things seem kind of dire to me at the end of book 2. So if you took the trip for book number 1 in the Wingfeather Saga, and you were kind of on the fence about whether or not to read book 2, I would encourage you to just take the plunge, and I would say that you won't be disappointed. You'll find pretty much everything you enjoyed in the first book of the series ratcheted up even better in book 2, North or Be Eaten. This is a great book, and so far 2 books in, a wonderful series for a family to experience together.